Have you ever had one of those quiet moments, maybe driving home or just before you fall asleep, where your mind drifts to your mom? And it's not just about the good memories or the tough times, but this bigger, deeper question that just pops into your head. Why? Why was I given this specific woman as my mother? It can feel so random, like a lottery we had no say in. But what if I told you that from a soul's perspective, many believe it wasn't random at all? What if, before you were even born, your soul actually chose her, not by accident, but on purpose? What if that entire relationship, with all its beautiful moments and its challenges, was part of a sacred agreement you made for your own growth? Think of it like this. Before we come here, before we ever take our first breath, we are so much more than we are in this physical life. We are souls, pure energy, and we are connected to a profound and loving wisdom. In that space, we are not alone. We are with other souls we love deeply, our soul family, and with guides and teachers who help us see the bigger picture of our journey. And in that space, we have a conversation about what we want to learn, how we want to grow, and what kinds of experiences will best help our spirit expand. This is what many call pre-birth planning. It's not about scripting every single tiny detail of your life, but rather about choosing the major themes, the key relationships, and the core challenges that will serve as your greatest catalysts for evolution. It's like choosing the university you'll attend and the main subjects you'll major in, but not every single book you'll read or conversation you'll have. And this is where the beautiful and powerful idea of a soul contract comes in. These are the agreements we make with other souls, the ones who will become our parents, our children, our partners, our closest friends, and even those we might have difficult relationships with. We sit down with them, in that space of pure love and understanding, and we essentially say, I need to learn about resilience. Will you incarnate as my parent and provide certain challenges so I can discover my own immense strength? Or, I want to learn how to give and receive unconditional love. Will you be my mother and offer me that safe harbor? And the other soul, out of their love for us and their own desire to learn, agrees to play their part. This means your mother wasn't a random assignment. She was a soul who agreed to play a specific role for you, and you for her. This role isn't about perfection, it's about purpose. It's so important to understand that this agreement is made from a place of absolute love and courage, even if the earthly experience feels anything but that. The soul playing the role of a challenging mother is taking on a tremendously difficult task out of love, agreeing to embody certain traits or patterns to help you learn a lesson you desperately wanted to master. They are essentially sacrificing their own reputation in your eyes, from a soul perspective, to give you the gift of growth. So when we feel anger, resentment, or confusion about why our mother is the way she is, it can be helpful to zoom out and see this bigger picture. It doesn't excuse hurtful behavior. We still have to navigate that here on Earth with healthy boundaries and self-care, but it reframes it from a personal attack into a sacred, if incredibly difficult, dance of evolution between two brave souls who agreed to help each other become more. So, what are we actually here to learn? What could that sacred agreement possibly entail? Often, it comes down to a handful of profound reasons that resonate deeply with our soul's journey. One of the most common is the need to learn a specific soul lesson. Think of your mother as your first and most impactful life teacher. Her presence in your life, in all its complexity, is your personalized curriculum. If your soul needed to learn resilience and strength, it might have chosen a mother whose challenges forced you to dig deep and find an inner power you never knew you had. If the lesson was about compassion and softness, you might have been blessed with a nurturing mother who showed you the meaning of unconditional love. Even learning to set boundaries is a sacred lesson, and a mother who struggles with that herself might be the very person who teaches you, by contrast, how vital it is to honor your own needs. It's not about the specific dynamic being easy, it's about it being effective for your growth. For many of us, The relationship with our mother is intertwined with patterns that feel bigger than just us. We might see the same struggles, the same pains, repeating through generations. This is where another powerful reason comes in, the call to heal generational trauma. Your soul might have chosen your specific mother because you agreed to be the one who stops the cycle. You are the conscious link in the chain, the one who says, "This ends with me." By facing the wounds that have been passed down, by doing the difficult emotional work to understand her pain and not continue to perpetuate it, you are fulfilling a courageous soul contract. You are healing not just for yourself, but for your entire lineage, for your ancestors and for your descendants. You are bringing light to an old pattern and changing the course of your family's story forever. Sometimes, the agreement is less about healing the past and more about building something new for the future. You and your mother might have a shared mission to fulfill in this lifetime. Perhaps you are meant to create something beautiful together, to advocate for a cause, or to bring a specific kind of energy or art into the world. Your souls recognize that you would be stronger together, that you could support and amplify each other's purposes. On the other hand, for some, the soul's primary need was simply to experience the profound safety and foundation of unconditional love. A loving, supportive mother provides that bedrock of security that allows a soul to feel safe enough to explore the world, to take risks, and to love openly. This itself is a priceless spiritual gift that fuels the entire journey. And then there are the relationships that are defined by their friction, the ones that leave us asking, why? From a place of deep hurt. In these cases, the soul's purpose is often to trigger a profound awakening. The pain of the relationship becomes the catalyst that forces you to question everything you thought you knew about yourself, your family, and your place in the world. It pushes you off the conventional path and onto a seeking, spiritual journey to find answers that your soul craves. That friction is the spark. It forces you to stop living on autopilot and to begin the difficult but rewarding work of discovering who you truly are, separate from the expectations and wounds of your upbringing. In this light, even the most challenging relationship can be seen as a difficult but divinely orchestrated gift, designed to wake you up to your own power and truth. Now, I need to pause here and say something incredibly important. Understanding this concept is not about justifying painful behavior or suggesting that you should simply tolerate any form of abuse or toxicity. This is not a free pass for anyone, and it is certainly not a reason to stay in a situation that is harming your well-being. Your feelings are valid, and protecting your peace is always the priority. What we're talking about is something entirely different. It's about a profound shift in perspective for you, long after you've established those necessary boundaries for your safety and health. It's about finding a way to heal the story you carry inside you, so that the past no longer holds the same power over your present. This shift is the journey from seeing yourself as a victim of your circumstances to recognizing yourself as an empowered soul who chose them. It's the move from asking the heart-wrenching question, "Why is this happening to me?" which can leave us feeling powerless and small, to asking the empowering question, "What is this here to teach me?" That one simple change in the question completely alters the landscape of your life. It takes the focus off of her and what she did or didn't do, and places it back onto you and your incredible capacity for growth and resilience. It's about reclaiming your narrative and realizing that your spirit is not fragile. It is a courageous student of life, eager to evolve. When you begin to see your mother as another soul who agreed to play a difficult role, one that is often shaped by her own unhealed wounds and the conditioning she received from her own life, it can open the door to a sense of release. This isn't about condoning her actions, but about understanding them from a higher vantage point. It helps you release the exhausting burden of blame, not for her sake, but for your own. Blame keeps us tethered to the person who hurt us, forever defining our story by their actions. Releasing that blame is how you untether your soul. It allows you to claim full responsibility, not for the pain, but for your healing and your growth from this point forward. You are no longer just a character in her story, you are the author of your own, and this understanding is the pen that puts the power back in your hands. You might be wondering now, this sounds beautiful in theory, but how do I actually apply it to my own life? How do I discover what my own soul's agreement might be? The beautiful part is that the answers aren't hidden away in some distant star. They are woven into the very fabric of your lived experience. The key is to gently turn your gaze inward and begin a compassionate dialogue with your own history. This isn't about finding one absolute truth, but about listening for the whispers of your soul in the story you've already lived. It's a personal exploration, a kind of loving archaeology of the self, where you sift through your past not to dwell there, but to understand its shape and meaning. A powerful place to start is by asking yourself a simple but profound question. What is the single biggest lesson my mother has taught me? And I want you to try to answer this without judgment, whether the lesson came from a place of love or from a place of lack. Did she teach you, through her own actions, the vital importance of independence? Did she show you, perhaps by example, what it means to be resilient in the face of adversity? Maybe her challenges taught you the critical skill of setting a boundary, or her kindness showed you how to offer compassion freely. Sometimes our greatest teachers show us what we want to become, and sometimes they show us what we need to heal. There is no wrong answer, only your honest truth. Then look a little closer at the patterns you carry. What ways of being, thinking, or loving did you inherit from her and from your family line? Which of these feel like genuine gifts, perhaps her creativity, her sense of humor, or her work ethic? And which ones feel heavy, like patterns of anxiety, fear, or people-pleasing that you feel almost programmed to repeat? Simply identifying them is the first step toward conscious choice. You can then ask yourself, which of these do I wish to honor and keep, and which am I ready to consciously release? This act of discernment is you actively participating in your soul's plan, deciding how that generational energy will move through you. Finally, consider your strengths. How has this entire relationship, in all its complexity, actually shaped the person you are today? Our deepest strengths are very often forged in the challenges we face. The need to be self-reliant might have fostered a powerful independence. Navigating a difficult relationship might have given you immense emotional intelligence and empathy for others. That constant feeling of not quite fitting in might have spurred a creativity and a unique perspective on the world. Try to look at your journey not just for the wounds, but for the tools and strengths it forced you to develop. And from this place of strength, you can ask the most liberating question of all. If my soul chose this experience, what was the gift I hoped to gain? Was it freedom? Was it inner strength? Was it the capacity for deep empathy? The answer that comes to you, when you ask with an open heart, will bring a sense of peace and purpose to your story. Remember, this is not about justifying pain, but about reclaiming your power and recognizing the profound wisdom of your own spirit. So, wherever you find yourself on this spectrum, whether your experience with your mother has been a source of unwavering joy, profound pain, or more likely, a complicated mix of both, please know that it holds a meaning far deeper than the everyday struggles might suggest. This relationship, in all its messy humanity, is a central chapter in your soul's story. It wasn't a mistake or a random stroke of luck. It was an experience rich with purpose, designed to shape you into the resilient, compassionate, and conscious person you are becoming. This perspective can be the first step toward a truly profound form of forgiveness. This isn't about excusing hurtful behavior or pretending things were okay when they weren't. Instead, it's about freeing yourself from the weight of the story you've been carrying. It's about softening your gaze to see your mother not only as the parent who hurt or loved you, but also as a soul herself, a fellow traveler on a difficult journey, doing the best she could with the tools and awareness she had, and playing a part in a sacred agreement of growth that you both courageously agreed to. This understanding can extend to yourself as well, allowing you to forgive yourself for any anger, resentment, or confusion you've held onto. Trust that your soul, in its infinite wisdom, chose a perfect and personalized curriculum for its own evolution. Every lesson, every challenge, every moment of love was a part of that divine syllabus. You are not broken by your past, you are being sculpted by it. Honor that incredible journey. Honor the courage it took to choose it, and the strength it takes to live it. You are exactly where you are meant to be, learning exactly what you need to learn.